Goodness. What's happening, YouTube? You're in the building with the original members of the Life Games of Current Culture. It's me and Larry. And Larry, I ain't even worried about the gas shortage. You know why?
Because you have a Tesla.
No, because the rent is too damn high. That's why. That's why I ain't worried about it. But what's good, Buzz? Larry, there's been a lot of foolishness going on. It is as if adult Americans don't know how to follow instructions. You criticize the news media for being biased. And when they tell you sound information as to don't panic and go buy extreme amounts of gas, why the hell is people in North Carolina putting gas in plastic bags?
Because that's just silliness, man. That's like those people that went out and bought like 10,000 rolls of toilet paper when the pandemic first started.
Does this not frustrate you when these people claim they love their fellow Americans when they clearly have been lying since they came to this country? They've been lying, and they're lying again. You're just like it's almost like you can't give American adults the real truth because they act like juveniles.
Yes, they do. It's unfortunate, but there's a lot of very adolescent behavior going on. And yeah, it's frustrating because, you realize like when they were telling people, they've been telling people, don't go out there and hoard gas, only buy the gas you need. Everything will be okay if we all are in this together. But what do people do? They go out there and they start filling up, 15 gas tanks and they have 9 cars at their house and they only drive 2. So they take all 9 of them down there and fill them all up with gas and just all kinds of ridiculousness. It's just really sort of it's sort of sad because, they always, these are many of the same people that are always talking about how much they love America and they love their, they love Americans and all that. But then the reality of it is that they don't. When push comes to shove, they're treating it like every man for himself.
Pretty much.
Even though they know if they just did like the emergency planners had said to do, which is only get the gas you need, everybody would be okay.
Then you wouldn't be sitting there in 2 hour ass long lines. I mean, and then furthermore, Larry, I don't even want to get into this because I'm sure most of the people that's jacking up the gas have no idea, Larry, no earthly idea why gas is on a shortage. 100% guaranteed.
Probably
100% guaranteed. Shouts out to my boy Buzz, who done got the party started right. Buzz.
703.
This is for you, my brother, because you gets down with our politics.
I represent the rent is too damn high party. Playing the silly game, but it's not going to happen. The rent too damn high movement. The people I'm here to represent can't afford to pay their rent. Listen, someone's stomach, child's stomach just growled. Did you hear it? Rent is too damn high.
Right now, the gas is too damn high, but
too damn high.
We appreciate that super chat, man. And everybody that's in the building, we're gonna go ahead and get this thing started off on a high note. Larry, they dropped the trailer for Raising Kanan, Book 3. Let's go ahead and get our first little glimpse at Raising Kanan, and then we'll decide if we're gonna watch it with intent or if we're gonna hate watch it. Let's go. Okay. Larry, that looks good to me. I'm excited for that because it looks like they're going to be telling a hell of a good backstory. And then look at some of the people in this cast. You got your boy from Shameless, who's going to be young Tommy. You got this chick right here who's going to be young Jukebox. Then you got my brother right here. And then we saw Omar Epps. Larry, are you excited? What do you think?
Yeah, man, I'm looking forward to it because I like we both like to do that because we play young Tommy because he's from Shameless. So we like that dude, the dude that played Carl. He's that dude's hilarious. But I really like the chick that's playing, I guess, his mom's. And,
yeah.
She's on she was on The Hunger Games and she was on Madam Secretary. And so I like her a lot. I'm looking forward to seeing her on this. I think this could be a good show. I'll be honest with you, I was not looking forward to this show at all. I was kind of like, I mean, to be honest with you, I was trying to figure out which show that I was going to look in. I mean, I shouldn't say I wasn't looking forward to this show at all. I was looking forward to some of the characters, some of the actors that are going to be in this show, but I wasn't necessarily looking forward to the actual show. But it's looking like it might be pretty good. And to be honest with you, after seeing, Power of Ghost, Power Book 2, I'm convinced. I'm convinced they have some good stories to tell. If initially I was not feeling it, I think they have some good stories to tell. So I'm going to give it a definite shot.
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, the story is supposed to surround the antics of young Kanan, what drove him to get into the game, what preempted him to live the kind of lifestyle that we all know Kanan was grimy as hell. But they're going to start from when he was a primitive, young, innocent man and go through the trials and tribulations that put him to be the grimy Kanan. And it already, we got super chat. Oh, look, man, look. Ladies and gentlemen, I done told this up and coming superstar. He ain't got to send me no super chat. He don't got to send me none because I'm interested in seeing him grow and build his channel. He got equipment he's trying to get. It's the brother B. Avery. He's supporting the gentleman. Done send a $50 super chat. Be sure to subscribe to his channel. He's watching. That's these multitasking Negroes right here, ladies and gentlemen. That's these multitasking Negroes right here. Send a super chat all while he's getting in the mix.
He's super chatting while he's editing his videos that are coming out later on in the week, and he pops on a live stream all at the same time. He might, for all we know, he might be on a video date with his girl right now too. This brother's doing a lot.
Now, B. Avery, I got to tell the people what you up to. I don't know when you're gonna drop this video, but I got to tell them. I caught my man watching Spiral, ladies and gentlemen. And that don't even come out to Friday. Me and Larry don't get no access. I ain't gonna call him a special Negro, but me and Larry don't get no access. He's already in there cooking that good New York crack and gonna have y'all a great review real soon. So
yeah, we're not gonna call them special Negroes. We'll just say that some of the Negroes are special.
Yeah. How y'all doing? How's everybody doing?
Hey man, we good, brother. So, B. Avery, I know you a Power fan. I know you kind of follow the show somewhat. How are you feeling about what they're getting ready to come out with in July? Raising Kanan, what have you heard? What do you think? What do you want to know?
Well, I haven't heard anything other than the release date, like you said. But as far as the show, I'm very excited about it. Since this is a prequel and we know what happened to Kanan, I still think that it's going to be very entertaining. And as you're pulling up these images right now, I've never seen these actors, actresses before, but they look like they're going to fit the role very, very well. And with 50 Cent being behind this, I think he's going to deliver us the goods, the justice, that he knows the fans want. So I'm pretty excited about it.
All right.
Throw that picture of Jukebox back up there. Doesn't she look like Aunt Louie?
Yeah, a little bit. But I think I will get Jukebox before I get Aunt Louie. I can't lie. Now, ladies and gentlemen, our boy Eric Iverson, some relation to Allen Iverson, has sent a super chat. And he said, I'm back. Love y'all. I'm off subject, but would y'all like to see Justice League versus Avengers? And do y'all think it'll ever happen? It's going to happen. I don't know.
We might be 60 before it happens.
Yeah,
exactly.
I was just about to say that.
Exactly. Oh Lord, what are the gods raining in on me?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Sweet November, who always super chats this channel.
Love it.
I see Buzz got it popping. Let the ladies make it rain. Hey,
there you go.
As a matter of fact, let me give you a video. Oh, Larry, they're gonna start taking their money back, brother. Let me give her this.
Big round of applause to my band, Sexual Chocolate. I believe the children are our future. Thank you. Teach them well and let them lead the way. Love of all inside of me. Yeah. Sexual Chocolate.
Damn, that boy can sing.
You must be crazy.
He good.
You must be crazy.
Sweet November. I appreciate that, man.
Electric chocolate.
Yeah, man.
But we got some new glasses, huh?
No, Sam. Still waiting.
Okay.
Still waiting. Still struggling.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're all in agreement on Power Book 3, Raising Kanan. Just understanding what drove Kanan's character to be as crazy and as demented as he was, seeing his relationship with Jukebox, seeing his relationship with young Tommy, young Ghost, young Tasha, and Omar Epps is playing a cop who's dating his mother. And you already seen the tension in this trailer where Omar Epps looks like he want to do his job as a cop, but he's stuck between the mama. And hey, that's a tough place to be in. When you stuck between your mama's thighs and doing your police work and you dealing with somebody's kid, 50. I got to give it to you, my brother.
We're going to be here for that. We see what happens when you're a cop and date somebody's mama. We've already seen what happens with that.
it can get ugly, but we'll see, ladies and gentlemen. Post your comments down below. Were you anticipating that?
We got a new one from Eric Iverson.
Oh, we got another one?
Yeah, man.
Oh, man. That Eric, my bad. Which one y'all think would be better? Power Book 2, 3, or 4? Man,
I'll tell you. Let me take this one first. I thought it was going to be 4. Because when they first came out with 4, I thought 4 was going to be Tommy in California. We all thought Tommy was going to Cali, and I think that's where they were originally going with it until the pandemic struck, and I think that changed things up. But him in Chicago, I'm not looking forward to him really in Chicago. I know that's where he's from and he wants to film there, but I'm not really looking forward to it. So, man. So basically, I'm going to end up saying, I think right now I'm thinking it's probably going to be, I'm thinking Power Book 2. I really like this story they have cracking with Tariq.
B. Avery, what you think, my brother?
I think it's going to, I don't know which books belong to what character, but I think the Tommy one is going to be the best one, hands down. Yeah. I mean, I wasn't really feeling, and initially I really wasn't feeling the Kanan one, but after seeing this trailer, it does look promising. But I still think Tommy, that one's going to be he gonna knock that out the park. And and also the Lorenz Tate one, I think that's going to be pretty good too. But Tommy number 1, Lorenz Tate number 2, and then Kanan one number 3. I think they all going to be good, but that Tommy one going to take the cake to me.
See, now y'all know why I get along with B. Avery. That is exactly my roster. Exactly. That is it. I was going to go book. I was going to go Tommy's Force. I was going to go Lorenz Tate's political story. But the only thing I would switch is number 3 is going to be Kanan for me. And last, I think, is Tariq's story.
See, this is the thing with Tariq's story. I like Tariq's story because Tariq's story is current and we don't know what's going to happen. Anything can happen. Like we know, we don't know what's going to happen all in the details of Kanan's story, but we know how Kanan's story ends. So and we know what he turns into. We know that he's going to start off as a nice guy, maybe, and he needs to get out on the block. And we know he's going to turn into this really sort of just this dude that goes into beast mode that ends up teaching, Ghost and Tommy the game. So we know so much of that story. There's a lot to be told in between those, but with Tariq's story, we don't know anything. Anything could happen because it's happening. It's a current story. So,
well, for all of us, everything else is going to be, devils in the details. It depends on how they flesh out the stories.
No, you're absolutely right about that.
We're sitting here thinking Tommy might be the best one, and they'll mess around and give him weak people supporting him, which I just don't see how that can happen. Me and B. Avery do not see how you can mess up Tommy's story because of the actor involved is so damn good. He's a great actor.
That character is really compelling. That's what it is.
It is. Yeah,
the character is really compelling.
He really does have range. I remember the first time I heard him talk outside of his role as Tommy, and it was completely different from the character. I was really shocked by that. So it's gonna be good.
Yep. Post your comments, my people. Mike Willie throwing the boys some money, and then we got William Lawrence showing some love with another super chat. And we guys, we greatly appreciate it. And when you super chat us like this, You give me and Larry, B. Avery, and all our networks time to not only do our work, but help out other YouTubers as we're trying to grow our network of young creators. So,
you know what I really wanted to see with that Lorenz Tate one? I really wanted them to keep Ghost alive. And I know a lot of people are saying he's not dead. I know he's dead, but I really wanted him to be alive because I wanted the political one to be like, instead of like Power Book 2, I just wanted that one to be sort of a whole nother, another book, but its own book in a sense where it's political power. Mm-hmm. And they move off into a whole different realm of sort of power. Instead of it having the whole drug dealing connection and all the streets and all that stuff, you may touch on that briefly, but then you really go into a much more political sort of mindset with, you know, just the way really, you know, people with real power and money, how they move. And it's different. I think it's different from the way people move on the streets because they don't deal with the same consequences and they affect a lot more people. Mm-hmm. And I just want to see them do a political power series rather than just a bunch of sort of street stuff.
I hope they do it. A big shout out to D Weave coming through with the $4.99. Appreciate that. Last I checked, they was talking about counseling. The Lorenz Tate story because of Corona, so hopefully they'll pick back up on that. Yeah. Let me see here. We're going to move on to Larry's story. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this is going to be the political part of this stream. We've got two political stories. Then we're going to get to who they trying to get to play He-Man. And we've gone down this road before, but we're about to go down this road again. So the big homie Larry sent me this Dunkin' Donut story. Y'all love Dunkin' Donuts up in Boston, you know. And when he sent me the story, I'm sitting here thinking, "Oh, Larry, you know I'm working on my cuts for the sluts, so I don't know why you send me pictures of naked donuts and shit." But that's not what happened. What was really going on was Larry sent me this story because, and let me give you guys the context. The majority of Dunkin' Donuts are owned by Middle Easterners in America. I think the statistic was like 66%. So you got a guy who's a frequent customer. He comes through this line every single week. Well, this day he was out of pocket. He was having to wait too long. He comes through the line, gets out his car, come in the store, he's throwing a stink. Well, he decides to call someone a racial slur. And the manager of this store is Pujols. Pujols told the police that the man was a regular customer. On this day, Pujols said the man was being extremely rude and called Pujols a racial slur. Pujols, who is black, told police he asked the man to repeat what he said, and the man again said the same slur. The specific slur was not included in the police report, which I don't know why. And then we move on to the rest of the story. Pujols said he then punched the man once in the face, which knocked him out and caused him to hit his head on the floor. Authorities arrived to the scene to find a 77-year-old victim unconscious, bleeding from the head. He was taken to Tampa General Hospital, placed in intensive care. He dies 2 days later. Autopsy showed the man had a skull fracture and brain contusions as a result of the blunt trauma. Hillsdale Medical Examiner reports they did come and get Pujols, but he's out on bond. Larry, talk about this. This is your story.
Yeah, this is one of those things where it's like this is one of those times where it's good to remind people. Don't let somebody's ignorant ass racist grandpa cause you your freedom. Don't let him cost you your freedom. I mean, people are going to get out there. They're going to say some stuff. You're going to want to punch some old ass racist bastard in the mouth. But if you do, he might just fall down and crack his head and die 2 days later in the hospital. And then you'll be up on murder charges. It's simply not worth it. Mm-hmm. So, but we have to remember too, though, I mean, we're starting to come out of this pandemic. There's a lot of people that have been locked up in their house. There's a lot of people that have all kinds of frustrations and angers. We have all this divisiveness in the country right now from all these, the way our politics are. People are on edge, And I fully expect we're going to see more of this, but I just want to remind folks, don't let some old ass racist bastard or some young ass racist bastard cause you your freedom. It takes a lot to walk away from that stuff sometimes, but be better. Be better, not for them. Be better for yourself.
Right. B. Avery, any thoughts on Pujols coming from behind the counter, and instead of serving up coffee, he was serving up that 1-2 and a biscuit?
Justice was served. I don't give a damn about look, he shouldn't have been talking shit. I agree with Larry as far as, don't let people, cause you to lose your freedom. To me, that is the only unfortunate thing about this story, that the black man is caught now and is probably going to be served some time. But justice is served. I have absolutely zero sympathy for any type of white supremacist. And he got what's coming to him. They have been killing us for hundreds of years, and they still are. And this is what happened. So that's all I got.
The only thing that's a little bit of a bright light in here, which may speak to something about this case, is the fact that the guy's out on bond. And so it could very well likely be that the DA is like, this might be a pretty weak case and we may not have it. So they might have let him out because they might be looking at this and thinking, okay, maybe we'll throw him an offer and see if we can get him to plead out for something less because they don't think they have a case. Or they may just look at it and be like, you know what? Now that we've seen the tapes, the dude came out, he went inside, he threatened him. He called him a racial slur and threatened him again. And so dude busted him in his mouth. And it just so happened that he fell and hurt himself. They might look at this and think to themselves, like, we don't want this getting out. We don't want this we don't want to cause another big issue when this tape gets released. And all of a sudden now we have this big political thing about why are you prosecuting this black man for basically what might turn out to be self-defense.
Exactly. The black man should say that he felt his life was threatened.
So let me play devil's advocate and be the white person. Let's tell this story from a different perspective. Okay. So you pull up to the Dunkin' Donuts window. I'm not even gonna say lily white girl. I'm gonna say you're a young teenage white male in Florida. Okay. This black dude driving his car on his rims with loud music is giving you a hard time. He tells you, look, I didn't say I want 2 sugars and 1 cream. I said I want my coffee black. You're going to take this shit back, and he throws it back in there. And then the boy's like, oh, my God, no, you've been a good cuss, blah, blah, blah. And the black dude's like, no, fuck you. I'm coming in the store. He gets in the store. The white dude pulls out a gun and shoots him. He might not would even have got arrested had that been a white dude. So I hate because they would have quickly had said, this threatening Negro gets out of his car from the drive-through window with no mask on, mind you, and comes in here, and our lives felt threatened. Okay?
Yeah.
That's what they would have said. But I guess the only spin to it would have been, it would have had to have been an older black man do the same thing. Because this was an older white guy.
Here's the thing that's interesting, right? Is that this happened in Florida, if I'm not mistaken. And Florida is a stand your ground state that has very, very liberal laws when it comes to the whole stand your ground thing. You don't have to actually have your life threatened. You just have to feel that your life was threatened.
What kind of bullshit is that? I mean, hell, on any given day, you can go to the gas pump in this crisis we have right now and feel like your life is threatened. That don't mean you should be shooting up everybody in the gas station.
But that's what happens, and a lot of people get off. A lot of white people, I should say, get off from that. But if somebody goes out there and they leave the line and they come into your store to confront you aggressively and use violent language against you, you could and probably should make the argument, I was threatened. He came in and I was confused a little bit at first and wanted to make sure that I didn't take something the wrong way, I didn't want to take it that he said something else that I didn't understand it. So I asked him again, and he said the same thing again and threatened me again. And so I punched him in the mouth. and defended myself, because I can tell you that I think they can get enough people up there to make the argument. They could probably get enough experts to say, if you are white and you call a person a black person the N-word, that is akin to a physical threat. That person at that time recognizes who and what you are, and their personal safety is threatened, and they feel the need to defend themselves. Because I do. If I'm around, some white dude comes up and calls me an effing nigger, I'm throwing him up. I'm like, I'm gonna have to fight. I may not want to. I have to fight. My life is threatened right now. This dude is a white supremacist, and we know what they want to do to us. So I'm thinking, if I'm that dude, I'm not pleading now. I'm taking that to trial. Right. I mean, I know that the only thing that would be scary is that he did end up causing the death of a 77-year-old white man. So depending on what your jury looks like, if he's got a black and Hispanic jury, I don't think he's getting convicted. You know,
that's the part that worried me. He's in Tampa, Florida, home of Tom Brady now, so I'm a little worried about that part.
Right. Let me say something about one of the commenters. I'm not calling you out. I believe you're a sir in a negative way, but Black Beach, you put it up for a second. It says man was more Malcolm than Martin. I just want people to kind of realize that Martin was actually turning into Malcolm towards the end of his life. You know, that was more of the 1963 Martin, like I Have a Dream. But, you know, in 1968, when he died, he was more like, you know, we're coming to get our check. You know, I fear that we've, you know, integrated my people into a burning house. So, you know, I just want Martin to have a little bit more credit that he was, you know, more of a rider and a soldier towards the end of his life, that, you know, I have a dream. So it just, just kind of stood out to me.
Here's the thing, B. Avery. Martin was always like that. It's just that he knew that these white folks was going to do violence anyway. So what he would do, he would throw himself and his protesters into the throes of violence, get it on camera, and just show people just how reckless these white folks was. He was always about the violence life. It's just that he wasn't always about retaliating to violence, but he was damn sure about the show of violence and how that invoked something in people's psyche and make them change their ways. So in my opinion, he was always like that.
Right. That is one of the fallacies about the civil rights movement with Malcolm. And they
Can we hold that for a minute? Can we hold?
Yeah.
Because the very next story, my fault. The very next story continues into this. So in the title, I put a cure for racism with a question mark. And so I've been watching the documentary, and I don't know why I've been fell into documentary mode, whatever. I've been telling the fellas
they're entertaining, man. They're good.
Man, they're good.
Not only entertaining, but these are like heart-pounding truths. You know, if you really want reality TV, here's a documentary I saw, and I'm gonna show you guys a clip of it. It was done in 2017, and the star of one of the stars of this documentary is this young lady right here. She was a freedom writer. Her son put together the documentary based on the mama, and this is 61, and she is currently 75 years old. That's a picture of her and the son, and the son's name is actually Loki. So take a quick look.
Oh, snap.
Oh, damn.
Whoa. Wow. Whoa.
You know?
Whoa. Oh, my Lord, have mercy. Thank y'all for showing content creators contributing to our story. Keep residing that money. I don't even know who W is, but W, my goodness. Let me give you something, man, because I got to give you this one, because this is not practice.
When you just talk about practice, we sitting here, I'm supposed to be the franchise player, and we're in here talking about practice. I mean, listen, we're talking about practice. Not a game. We're talking about practice. Not a game. We're talking about practice, man. I mean, how silly is that, man? We're talking about practice.
And W, you won't talk about no practice. You was talking about real game. That was real NBA money. And we're grateful. We appreciate it. You give us time to keep networking with great content creators, pushing their messages as well as ours.
Shout out to that. Got another one coming through.
Oh, my goodness, man. What? Is this Christmas?
You know?
Oh, this is your boy, Larry. This is your boy, Jacoby, coming through with the $4.99, man. I appreciate that, my brother.
Where the money reside.
Yeah.
That's B. Avery's joint.
Yeah, man. I'll never steal it.
Where the money reside.
Yeah, bro, you good, man.
So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, here's a quick clip from a great documentary you guys should see on Amazon called The Uncomfortable Truth. Anybody that you know that's white, that's on the fence about racism, or is blind to racism, or is just a straight up racist, this is the beginning of a cure for them. Take a look at this.
No, there we go.
Before the war, our family had over 100 slaves. And when it ended, they were all told that they were free to go. But if they stayed, they'd be paid. Now, if they left, they could never come back. And of those 100 slaves, only one left. My grandmother loved to tell me this story. And I loved hearing it.
We have a very violent history. And the solution has always been, we will kill as many people as we have to establish the place for white people to be.
It's about a foundation of racism to maintain the status quo. It's about a starting line set so far back by the policies of white supremacy that you can't even see it.
I had a conversation with my wife. My father worked for what he had, and I worked for what I got, and I said, that's true. I said, but you had an opportunity to work for what you got, to work for what you have. And you had a lot of black people who were working their asses off and couldn't get a house, or couldn't get this, or couldn't get that. And they couldn't get it because they were black.
And these slaves range from age of 40 down to 4 months. This is the slave ledger of our family.
Yeah.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, not only was his mother, and let me put her up again because it was very rare that you got someone that was gonna put their life on the line as a young white person during the 60s. This is that guy's mother. This is Loki's mother, she's on the cover of a whole lot of African-American issues dealing with the 60s because she stuck her neck out there. And what made it so mad was she was so attractive to a lot of the white guys. They couldn't understand why she was hanging around with, they called us niggers back then. All right.
Back then?
Well, yeah, you got it. Since we get off the boat till now. And what he did was he did the family genetics of going and finding out who they was related to and how many slaves they owned, the history and all that, yada, yada, yada. The other guy was a freedom rider who was friends with her during her heyday, and they're still friends to this day. He gives the black perspective of what a black man had to go through from, y'all, it's just mind-blowing, from redlining, basically meaning that you come home from the war, they got a GI Bill they put in place. They didn't give you as a black person the money. And if they did give you the money, they would only give 1 out of 1,000 the money, and they would put you in a neighborhood where they want to move the white people out because they want to raise the property value. That was called redlining. He talks about how in slavery, how you was given a deed that had the name of a person on it and you was property. And you paid taxes on that property that was a human being. He talks about how out of the first 7 presidents of the United States, you guys would not believe how many of that 7 were slave owners. Out of the first 7, 6 or 7, 6 out of 7 were slave owners.
No, I think it's 5.
No, he said 6.
Because John Adams and his son were, I think both of them were Quakers and they didn't own slaves.
Double check behind me and watch the documentary. It's on Amazon. It's called The Uncomfortable Truth. And then they bring everything together. They bring it all together on how the issues that slaves dealt with when they got off the boat are still going on to this day, or till 2017 when they did this documentary. It is a good watch, good read. B. Avery, I'm gonna give it to you first. Do you have any interest in taking a look at this story?
100%. 100%. I'm very interested. I'll probably try to watch it on Saturday.
Okay.
Because yeah, I'm to be honest with you, bro. I was talking to my friend I think I talked to y'all about Aaron in New York today.
Okay.
And I was like, man, I'm been kind of slacking as far as my engagement, with Black people and our plight and political and economic movement and growth and stuff like that. I was like, I just need to get back in it, and so this would be a great launching point for me. So I definitely will be checking it out. May even do a video or something. If you want to do one, we can. Or I may do one on my channel.
What's the name?
We can do it on your channel, B. Avery. Whenever you're ready, we can follow up on your channel because it's so many gems and great statistics that they put with the historical information that Black people already know.
Right.
It might be a shock.
Again?
The Uncomfortable Truth on Amazon 2017. So Larry, then that leads me to ask you, you gonna check it out, Larry?
Yeah, man, I'm about to add it to my my list here, my playlist. I have an app I use to track the stuff I watch and want to watch, so I'm gonna check that out.
So ladies and gentlemen, I would encourage everybody to watch this, and don't be surprised if you don't see this T-shirt in the Life Gain store real soon. Joanna Mohammed is her name, and they've got footage of her standing in the face. I mean, they recorded the Freedom Ride. They got footage of her standing in the face of the police, spitting on her, telling her she's a nigger lover, all in this documentary. It is a great read and the beginning of getting people to understand just how biased they are, and they might not even know it. So check it out, my people.
It's one of those things I feel like people need to truly recognize how important it is for people to have allies and any movement, any movement of people where people are trying to reach what they should have already, which are their simple human rights. And not to pivot too hard, but I feel like right now is one of those times where we all need to stand up and recognize that the Palestinians and over there in Palestine and Israel are being slaughtered, and they're having their homes stolen. They're literally just running into their homes and forcibly moving them out of their homes and throwing all their stuff out and just taking their property and their lives. They're bombing their neighborhoods, and it's one of those things where we need to be allies. We can't just stand back and watch it happen. We need to speak up and say something. Just like Black folks had allies and still have allies. I mean, we saw the protests that happened over the last summer when George Floyd passed, and we saw all those people that were white and Black, and we see people coming out and in support of our Asian brothers and sisters out there. When we're seeing all this stuff happen to them, we also need to remember that there are things that happen outside of the borders of our country that people are suffering. The Palestinians have been suffering for decades, and we need to make sure that we stand up and say they too are humans and they need to be treated with respect and dignity.
Right on. I'm sure this with Lamont, because when you first started showing that clip, the gentleman was saying that right after slavery, how the slaves were set free, but if they stayed, they could get paid. Right. This is a documentary on PBS called Slavery by Another Name. You may be able to find it on Amazon, but I know the first time I saw it, it is on YouTube. So if you just want to look that up, you can. It talks about, like the 50 to 100 years after slavery, 1865, how some of the conditions were even worse than slavery, and how, they just, slaves just couldn't get a job or work anywhere.
I've seen it. I've seen that, man. I've been on that a minute because I did a podcast with someone that was white, and I've got to dig that up because y'all would have loved that podcast. I've done this like 2 years ago, and he was talking about why didn't life get better for slaves once they was free. And I literally dropped the mic and said, "You damn fool! How would you feel somebody held you captive for, let's just say 10 years of your life, and then say go be free in a place where there's actual people hunting you down? Right. You don't have good skills. You can't read English. You don't have any allies. You're on your own. When you do try to venture somewhere, you don't know if you can trust the white guy that's coming to shake your hand." And once I broke it down for him, and I did get some excerpts from this right here that you're talking about, it made them think. And one thing that this last documentary is going to tell you to do, try to engage people who don't know they have implicit bias or seem like they're on the fringe of being racism, because they all really believe that the Republican Party has got this thing set up where they're keeping dumb white people dumb and white because it makes it easier for them to placate them.
Definitely.
It makes it easier to placate them and keep them upset at the progress of minorities, women, and any other group you want to throw in there.
Right,
so, ladies and gentlemen, you got to check that one out. And it's another one I've been watching called The Politics of Hate. And when I'm finished with that, I'll get you guys back on that. So, ladies and gentlemen, we got your back, man. We're about everybody. We need everybody to help. And the more people we can touch, black, white, green, whatever, the more we can try to get one barrier out of everybody's life. And that is someone thinking they're better than you just because they skin look ashy the way I look when I get out the shower and shit. So
can I say one more thing? Just is concerned.
Yes, sir.
I am pretty sure that every black person or everybody in the chat, if you're not black, if you are a true member of justice, I'm pretty sure there's somebody in your phone or that you're connected to them on social media in some capacity, at your own pace, your own time, at your own leisure. Find the people that are already doing the work and see how you can help them out. See where you get in, where you fit in. Okay, that is a solution right there. Whether it's politics, economics, education, labor law, whatever, just look and be like, okay, what is this person? Okay, they doing this over here. They're doing this over here. Okay, I may not be able to help this way, but I can help this way. Just see how you can help them out, because there are people right now, as this live is broadcasting, that are doing the work. Just get in where you fit in.
Yep. Good. Yeah. Well said, my brother. Well said. So now, my people that's holding on for all the comic book news and superhero news, let us get on with the superhero news, ladies and gentlemen. Some of y'all are going to be mad at me because I might have to drop out here and say we might need this next hero to be black. And ladies and gentlemen, I'm talking about He-Man, the master of the universe. Probably my favorite superhero from the time I was born till I was about, I'm going to say 18. All right. There's another swirling rumor going around, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to show you a clip of Chris Hemsworth. This is from 8 years ago. And they was discussing with him the role of being He-Man. Take a look at what he had to say back then. And there's new news going on now.
Could Thor, the god of thunder, become another prince-turned-warrior? It would be an understatement to say that Chris Hemsworth is killing it right now. Let's see. You've got Thor, the Avengers, Red Dawn, and Snow White and the Huntsman, just to name a few, but could we be adding He-Man to the list? In August, Dolph Lundgren, who played the original He-Man in 1987's Masters of the Universe, voiced his support for Hemsworth to play the character in John M. Chu's Reboot. But is the man himself even interested? Hemsworth sat down with Empire Online to discuss the possibility, but he is worried that He-Man is way too similar to the Asgardian warrior. When told that Lundgren gave him the stamp of approval for playing He-Man, Hemsworth said, quote, "I can't play He-Man. It's pretty much Thor, isn't it?" Well, yeah, it's pretty much Thor, but in different costume. Hemsworth did go on to say that he preferred to play a villain, so maybe we could see him in Masters of the Universe, but as a baddie instead of He-Man. In October, Chu told MTV that they were reworking the script to make it stronger and better, so once that out of the way, I'm sure we will be hearing about more casting rumors soon. Disappointed Chris Hemsworth isn't too keen on playing.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that was 8 years ago. And here we fell back into He-Man was supposed to be getting released this summer, 2021. And this was going to be He-Man, Noah Centineo. And when we first did a video on this last year, I was like, hell no.
Did he bulk up or something?
Oh, they scrapped it. They scrapped it. They scrapped it all over again. And since we've got the first He-Man movie back in '87, there have been 22 attempts to redo it, and they all fall to the wayside. 22.
Wow.
So now some of the same writers that still hold the script that want to redo it are begging Chris Hemsworth to come play He-Man. Unlike 8 years ago when Chris told them no, this time Chris said, let him think about it. So B. Avery, I'm going to come to you first. Do you want to see Chris Hemsworth become He-Man? Now, I got to say this. Thor and He-Man is two different characters. Personally, if Thor brought his lightning ass down to Eternia, he would get his ass kicked by He-Man. And I'm going to leave it at that. But B. Avery, go ahead. And do you want to see Thor become He-Man?
First, I just got to say this real quick, man. I ain't seen the Clever Movies video in such a long time. But I would love to see it.
This dude, he trying to slip that in there, Larry.
Because I used to watch them. But I wasn't trying to throw no shade, but yeah, I'm down, man. I mean, he looks the part. You know, I know he's gonna commit to it. I know he can bulk up. I haven't seen. I think the last time I saw the He-Man movie I was in the 4th grade or something like that. Maybe the 1st grade. I can't. It's been so long. I mean, I remember the character, but barely remember the lore. So you saying that He-Man will whoop Thor?
Whoop him.
That is interesting to me.
Whoop him.
Even when hold on. He will whoop him even when with Thor getting the Odin Force.
It'd be a close tie. Be Avery. He-Man is the most powerful man in the universe. So you got to think when he raised that sword up and he said by the power of Grayskull, that is the Odin Force for Eternia. He already got the Odin Force, basically.
Well, school your boy. Because I know the Odin Force is serious now.
Be Avery. And let me just thank Eric Iverson. I appreciate that, my homie. And I'm gonna get back to you in a minute. Be Avery. They did a crossover series where He-Man basically had to take on the Justice League, Hordak, and Skeletor. It came down to He-Man versus Superman. And you want to know what happened to Superman?
He got his ass whooped. Don't tell me.
The sword of power went right through his fucking chest.
Oh, wow. My God. We got to have it now. We got to have it.
It went right through his...
We got to have it.
Only for them to find out that they were being manipulated by Darkseid and Skeletor in the comics. Because DC has some rights to the Masters of the Universe in that crossover. And so,
nice.
Look,
I'm down for it. And hello, Zia. How you doing?
What's up,
Those
Zia?
that are interested, I did a video a few months back where you can actually watch He-Man live. You can watch him on YouTube because there is a He-Man channel where they just play He-Man videos, the cartoons, like 24/7 on the YouTube channel.
Right. So now I will say this, my people. At first, I was kind of rolling my eyes, like, do I give somebody else a chance? But then I had to think. I just got finished cussing last year because they were trying to put Noah Centineo in the role, but Noah Centineo doesn't fit the role. He don't look. I don't care how much bulking up he does. He's not going to get big enough to play He-Man. He's just not going to do it. And so we know what we're going to get from Chris Hemsworth. And I got to say, I'm very proud of Chris Hemsworth playing Thor. At first, I rolled my eyes at that. I wanted Triple H to be Thor. But you know what? Triple H would have never had, he would have never had the range. He would have never had the range that Chris Hemsworth has.
Bro,
and if
Chris, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Sorry.
No, go ahead.
After saying Blade Trinity, bro, I don't ever want to see him act again, man.
Come on now. See,
that was awful. That was awful.
Oh, God. So, Larry, get on up in here, man. How do you feel about Thor reprising He-Man?
Honestly, man, I would rather see him play. I'd rather see him play Skeletor. Okay. You know, because Skeletor is a big yoked up dude too. He said he wants to play a villain, so I think that would be perfect for him. You know, it's one of those roles that he could be in it if they're going to turn this into like a franchise, you know, make a multiple, you know, do multiple movies out of it. He can be around for a long time because Skeletor stays fighting He-Man. But I'll be honest with you, I feel like not to say they can throw anybody in there, but I feel like He-Man could be played kind of by anybody. I'm really more interested in who's going to be the villain there, and who's going to play She-Ra. You know,
well, damn, Larry, got to get off the horse, man. Can we get He-Man first? Can we get you always on that horse trying to ride down to the? God,
they can't make a He-Man movie without She-Ra.
Give it. Look, I'm with you.
Grayskull.
It's like this, Larry. I'm with you on the whole universe. If you can get He-Man done right, you could turn this. This thing could be the MCU. Of He-Man, because you literally have so many stories you can tell. So B. Avery, you might only know of He-Man and Skeletor, right?
Right.
There's a more powerful villain named Hordak that's more powerful than Skeletor, who fights She-Ra. So, you know, She-Ra has a little bit more power than He-Man in terms of her magic on her sword. You know, they put a little pearl on her sword that does all kinds of magical shit. I mean,
give it to us. What? I'm just thinking, like, what the fuck is going taking so long? This is
I'm telling you. But get this. Then you've got a villain more powerful. Well, he's not more powerful than Hordak, but he's equal power, which means he's stronger than Skeletor, called the Snake Men. I mean, and then He-Man has to go get a pal of his from outer space to come help deal with all them, then bring in She-Ra to help deal with all that mess. I mean, B. Avery, and the way that you get Castle Grayskull was because the guy that used to live in Grayskull looks like He-Man. And when all these evil forces came to take the power of Grayskull, King Grayskull didn't have a weapon, and he thought he needed a weapon. And guess what he needed? He only needed a sword. And they killed him in the battle, but all the energy and magic got absorbed into this sword. The sorceress passes it down to He-Man, and that's where you get He-Man from, and Castle Grayskull from King Grayskull. I mean, you could do a Game of Thrones spin on this shit.
Let's do it. I'm on board.
And can we get the He-Man Scooby-Doo crossover?
Hell no, man. No.
Dude, that was dope.
No, man.
That was incredible when they did that.
Not yet.
What's up, Moochie? How you doing in the chat? I have a question though. I had to shout out Mooch real quick.
You good.
I have a question though. I was trying to ask, meant to ask this earlier.
Yeah.
Since you said that it would be a close fight between Odin Force, Thor, and He-Man, who would win if there was no weapons? Was that even a thing? I'm just curious.
You mean Odin Force Thor versus He-Man? Who win in the fight?
Or a regular Thor, but no sword, no Stormbreaker.
He-Man still whipping him. He-Man is on par with the strength of He-Man is stronger than Superman.
Damn.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm telling you. Think of the energy you have to get your sword. Well, think of how damn strong the sword is first. To go through Superman. But remember, Superman is vulnerable to magic. Right. That sword is magical.
Gotcha.
But you still got to have a certain amount of force to get it to go through his skin. I mean, I could geek out about this all day.
Well, I'm because my geek gears are turning in my head. Who is the I ain't mad at you, but he ain't even took it out the box. You know what I'm saying? He gonna pass that down to baby L. You know what I'm saying? Like
she already gonna try to take it.
You know,
I got one down here on a lower shelf that she always come grabbing, and it's this one right here.
Who is the weakest person in the MCU that can beat He-Man? If that question makes sense.
And do he get to keep his sword?
Yeah, he get to keep his sword. I know. I'm pretty sure Phoenix can get him.
Yeah. Some of those cosmic people will whip his ass.
Okay.
Phoenix will beat him for sure.
Okay.
I'm trying to think of someone a little lower toned than Phoenix.
What about the dude that was it Blue Marvel that you said could whoop Hulk, the black guy? Is that his name?
Blue Marvel could beat him.
Okay.
Blue Marvel could beat him. I mean, Blue Marvel is a hyped up, stronger, more intelligent Superman.
Okay.
So Blue Marvel, Captain Marvel is not beating He-Man. No.
Oh.
No.
Mike Willie. What's up, Mike Willie? What's up, Buzz?
No, man. But yeah, B. Avery. I mean,
they could excited, bro. You got me excited.
I mean, because think about it. If you like Game of Thrones and you like comics, you can bring these two worlds together because there's dragons and He-Man.
Oh, let's do it. Let's do it.
It's like I don't understand why they haven't even got the writers from Game of Thrones to come and help on this project, because that's background would be perfect for Eternia, because you've already got your magic, you've already got a decent script. The only thing that you couldn't put in He-Man is sex. I mean,
you know, the thing I was surprises me. I think they at this point they would have at least refreshed the animated series.
They did in 2002, and it was actually good, Larry. However, they made that He-Man a straight bum. I mean, He-Man didn't get his ass whipped in the 80s. The Snake King punched He-Man so hard, it knocked him over a mountain, and he transformed back to Prince Adam. He was like, boop. He-Man goes flying over the mountain, hits the ground, and transforms back into Prince Adam. And I'm sitting here like, come on, man. You can't have nobody stronger than He-Man. So they called a dude from outer space who's friends with the sorceress, who's helped save Grayskull before, and he has to help Superman deal with the Snake Men. So I was a little disappointed.
I'm with it.
I'm telling you, B. Avery, boy. Whew. I can't wait. Maybe I need to go write the script because I'm a super fan over here. I'm telling you.
You know?
We'll support her. Give you my energy through the camera. There you go.
Okay, so Moochie's in here talking about another one of the great 80s classics, the Thundercats. I don't understand. Larry, we know about that story too. Why the hell can you not take that story and make it good nowadays? Because they've got a great universe. You could actually cross them over with a group of people called the Silverhawks. I mean,
I wonder if they're just. I wonder if all these studios are just worried about having too many universes. Like they're just worried that it's going to be too much and people are going to start to burn out.
Nope. Not.
I mean,
no way, not any day. Nope.
Okay.
Nope. Because they was talking about superhero burnout in 2012, and what started happening after 2012? The superhero numbers got bigger and bigger and bigger. I distinctly remember them talking about superhero burnout after the first Avengers movie. Oh, we're going to have superhero burnout. Then the 1 year Marvel dropped 3, and each one of them made more and more money every movie.
Yeah.
So
they put out good movies, though. They were putting out good movies.
That's it. So you hit the nail on the head, Larry. You put out a good movie, a good story, a very, very good story. Nobody's going to burn out from it. I mean,
that's the thing that gets me when I think about these. When I think about these comic book movies, there's so much content. There's so many stories that you could eat on them for an entire lifetime. You could have someone that starts their career fresh out of college and does nothing but makes just movies from the He-Man series or from. Or not even the Marvel universe, just pick one particular part of the Marvel universe and you can make enough movies to last you your entire career because there's so much content.
And if any one of my investments turns into $100 million, I'm finding who's the writers and all this for He-Man, and I'm going to put the team together my damn self. I'm going to fund it. Because I'm telling y'all, that universe is a multi-billion-dollar universe. You could give the Snake Men, because nobody, if you didn't watch the second He-Man cartoon or read the comics, you wouldn't even know about the Snake Men. But the place where Skeletor lived at is called Snake Mountain. Before Skeletor got there, the Snake King lived there, whose magic is greater than Skeletor. So I'm telling you, it's boy. But anyway, let's move on, my people. The last subject we're going to cover is stocks. A lot of people want to know what the hell happened to tech this week. And before I play you guys a video of Crazy Kramer, I'm going to just say this. The people were selling off because they're worried about inflation. Why do we have inflation? Demand is high, supply is low. And then you've got a lot of people not at work and some other factors that are causing people who normally put idle cash into big growth stocks such as Tesla, Apple, Amazon. They're pulling their cash, putting them in yields, treasury bonds, and other notes that give you a guaranteed return. So take a quick look at what Kramer had to say, and then we'll finish this thing on off.
For young investors, including today, where a hideous tech sell-off ultimately crushed nearly everything. The Dow sinking 35 points, a huge decline when it was up 300 points, while the S&P plunged 1.04% and the NASDAQ, weak from the get-go, plummeted 2.55%. If you're a grizzled veteran like me, this market is pretty straightforward. But for the younger demo, it can be both confusing and terrifying. And tonight, I'm going to change that. Tonight, I'm giving younger investors my handbook of what did just fine in this hideous tape and why those stocks will keep winning, along with why the stocks that are melting down will likely keep melting down until they merge or trade at levels too low to be believed, or for something that makes the selling stop. I dare not know what that be. I say this is a market for grizzled veterans because if a company's only been publicly traded for, say, let's be arbitrary, a dozen years, it's most likely getting crushed right now. These modern stocks have become what we call in the business sources of funds. Sell, sell, sell. And that's what drove today's sell-off. Sources of funds. It includes many stocks in the NASDAQ where it got really ugly today. There are so many of them, and they've become untouchable for now. Even if the underlying companies are doing well, and we've got two on tonight that they are doing very well, the stocks have become so awful that by the end of the day, they've managed to drag down nearly everything. Of course, it's not just the NASDAQ. If you're in the semiconductor business, the chip business, and your stock trades on the New York Stock Exchange, it's been annihilated too. Remember, I showed you Frito-Lay chips and a semi-chip. One tastes a lot better than the other. Look, I'm going to talk about what's wrong with those stocks later in the show. Right now, I'd rather focus on the groups that are working because you know what I say at the end of every show. There's always a bull market somewhere. When I say the losers have become sources of funds, we have to talk about where those funds are going. Mm-hmm. Where are the remaining bull markets? Remember, 40% of the S&P was up at the beginning of the day. That wasn't the case at the end of the day. And in a bad tape like this, the stocks that work stick out like sore thumbs.
Yeah, he spit a little wisdom on you people. So last year, when me and Larry started giving, our expertise on stocks, you didn't have to be a professional. You didn't have to be someone who's been investing for years. Literally, you put a bullseye up on your wall and you say, pick a stock and throw it. That stock would go up. And I used to always tell Larry, I would say it over and over because Larry's more risky than me. I would always say, Larry, foundation, the price to earnings, the data, the metadata, the valuation, because it's not going to always be like this. And Larry would just say, oh, gosh, you young man, you don't know what the hell you're talking about. You youngster, you don't know. Now y'all starting to come on home. Some of them people that was talking to all stocks last year ain't saying shit this year. But you know what? I'll show y'all my portfolio because I'm still chilling. Let me get on this screen. I ain't got no bones about that. Yeah. I'll show y'all my portfolio because I'm still chilling. Because I know exactly what the hell I'm doing. And I've taken a dip because my portfolio is heavy tech. But I didn't take a hard dip because in my portfolio, I also have what you call dividend stocks, my people. And if you're someone who's young right now and you never learned what price to earnings is, which you should have if you've been following me and Larry, you never want to see price to earnings very high. What's very high? It depends on the stock, but anytime you start seeing something higher than 75, that's a too high price to earnings, which means the stock is overvalued. And so what I did with my winners, I started putting them into a whole lot of dividend stocks, such as Target, such as Verizon, such as BPE. That is a solar wind company, infrastructure company. I put some money in Johnson & Johnson because they pay a hefty dividend. And my favorite ETF that pays a good dividend based on the S&P 500 is the S&P. Its ticker is SPHD. I went and got myself another 35 shares of that. And so what happens is when you go through these rotations in the stock market, as long as you've got dividend stocks that are still paying you money, even though the market is depressed, you're good because you don't have to take that money and spend it. You take that money and let it reinvest in the stock, and then you ride the wave. The stock market does for the average person in a year, and this is being professionally managed, is 8 to 10%. Once you learn how to reprice the earnings and you take advantage of days when the market is red like this, or you keep some cash on hand always, you buy the dip. It's just like real estate, my people. You buy low, you sell high, and you invest for rainy days in dividend stocks. I'm gonna give it to you first, Larry. Any other advice that I missed when you start having these rough periods?
No, I mean, I one of the things that I've kind of done, and people have said for a long time, is buy stocks for companies that have become verbs, you know, and that's one of those things like with Google or Amazon, or
Netflix,
Coke, and I missed out on one which I should have bought. I was listening to you. I'm gonna give you grief forever, and that's Levi's. I should have bought Levi's back when it was at like $9, and then it went up to $12, and I should have bought it again. And you kept saying Levi's. Nobody wears Levi's, and I was like, I'm wearing Levi's right now. The last time I checked, I think Levi's was damn near $30 a share.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is how people paint stories the wrong way. Larry knows good and damn well why I didn't recommend Levi's. Their price to earnings was horrible. Their earnings had went down the last 4 quarters. Their short-term history wasn't saying a lot of good. Now, ladies and gentlemen,
but I'm an organic investor. I invest on what I feel. I feel things happen. I feel things moving, and I should have grabbed them, and I didn't. I felt that same thing with American Airlines. And I didn't listen, and I should have, because I could have bought American Airlines at like $8, and I bought them at like 10, and they went up to, I don't know, 20 something. But I did listen to myself.
Whereas Levi's, and you know what? I can see that. I can see that on you. I can see that.
But I did listen. I did listen to myself when it came to Ford. I did listen to myself when it came to GE. And there are some companies out there that are just sort of stalwarts, and you buy them, and even if they're down at the time, you just hold on to them, and they'll come back up eventually. Exactly. And there's a couple other ones I'm looking at. Like I probably should have bought a while ago. I was looking at buying Twink, and I think I probably should have bought them a while ago. I think I might pick them up. They're the company that does like Hostess and Twinkies and all that other kind of dessert type stuff.
I got another one for you that you wanted, and I warned you not to do it, and it done went up like $3.
Which one is that?
Hertz.
I have Hertz. I bought 300 shares of Hertz at like, I don't know, $1 something.
And it was at $5 today. Did you sell and get some of that profit out of that joint?
No.
God told B-Mo. Lord have me. B. Avery, what questions do you have about the stock market? Lord have me.
I have a question, man. When I hear y'all talking about it, I just get excited. I sit back, open my ears, and just turn into a sponge and let it all soak in. You know what I'm saying? So my toes are still wet. So, I'm just taking notes mentally. So that's
gotcha.
Yeah, I'm looking. I bought my Hertz at $1.30.
Larry,
I'm gonna hold on to it because I think Hertz is going all the way back up. I think Hertz is gonna run up to like. I would not be surprised to see Hertz run up to close to $20 a share before the end of the summer. I think when the summer hits and people are out there traveling and people are out there renting cars, I would not be surprised to see Hertz stock run up to close to $20 a share.
You want to bet on it?
No, but I think that's what it's going to do. So when it gets to about 18, I'm gonna trim my position. But when it gets to about
if that thing, because the volatility. Look, let's see, BA. This is what I've been trying to teach Larry. I looked at Hertz today because it kept popping up because the volatility was so high. Ladies and gentlemen, what does it mean to say have a high volatility? It means a high, unusual amount of activity is going on in the stock. Either it's going up because people are buying, or it's going down because more people are selling than normal. So if you look at a stock and it's going up and the volatility is very high, that means more people, for whatever reason, are jumping in. So Larry, I looked at your stock today, Hertz, and the first thing I thought about was that Larry. And the volatility was 300%. Here's
the thing, though. Here's the thing: is that some of these old school fundamentals don't hold true entirely anymore, because you have so many retail investors that are involved in the market, and you have all these people that are in these groups on Reddit and on Twitch and on Facebook that they're getting together and they're saying we're going to start buying stuff, and they're always talking about to the moon and we're going to something stonk or whatever, all the other little phrases they have and code words they use. But they are doing enough to influence the market and influence these stocks that are driving them up. And so some of the fundamentals that you used to be able to depend on to read these companies and these stocks to see if they're going to go up or down, they're not necessarily always accurate. They're not the healthy gauges that they once used to be, because now you can look at them, you can be like, oh, everything about those companies says it should be going down, except it's shooting through the moon.
Yeah, but here's the problem with that. That's not long lasting. That's short term.
No, but that's why you have to have a number. But that's why you have to have a number where you say, like if I say, okay, at $18, I'm going to trim. So I have 300 shares at $18. I say I'm going to go ahead and sell 100 shares of it and pull profits. Now, if it turns out to be one of those meme stocks and all of a sudden it goes from being, right now it's $5 something, all of a sudden it goes from $5 a share to, $150 a share. Well, now I own 200 shares of that stock instead of 300 shares. Okay. I sold some, big deal. When it gets to that price, of course I'm selling. If it gets to $100 a share, of course I'm selling at that point.
Rule of thumb, my young investors, if your money doubles at any point in time, trim back and invest somewhere else. We're gonna come back. We're gonna come back and check Larry and see how his bankrupt stock, because Hertz is in bankruptcy, ladies and gentlemen. No, that's the truth. I'm not lying.
No,
that's the truth.
They're in bankruptcy. Why they were so low. And let's not forget, Hertz not long ago was less. It was like 40 cents a share about 6 months or so ago.
It was definitely 40 cents a share when me and Larry first talking about it. However, the type of bankruptcy they filed is not the one where they're going to take all the assets. So one of the reasons why they're still trading is because the company still has assets that equate to something tangible that shareholders can divvy out. So,
because their physical assets were worth more than what their bankruptcy was. They were going to, even if they had to liquidate, people were going to be made whole. Maybe not everybody, but people were going to be made whole because the company had physical assets in their fleet that was worth something. They had these leases at airports and other places. They had actual physical structures at places where they have their buildings that they own. Some of them they own the leases, and they were worth something. And so, I think that Hertz is one of these companies. They are a brand name that a lot of people know them, they trust them. If I don't know how many of you have traveled for work often on somebody else's dime, but Hertz is one of those companies that a lot of government, government agencies, whether they be local or state or national, and a lot of companies would use Hertz as their rent-a-car company. And I almost never used Hertz when I was traveling personally because they were always a little bit more expensive. But almost every time that I traveled on business, my company whoever I work for put me in a Hertz rent-a-car. And I think that still holds true because they still have those relationships. They still have those accounts. The people that make those decisions are still familiar with them. And I think Hertz is going to recover, and they're going to come out of this bankruptcy, maybe not stronger than before, but they're going to come out of it strong enough to survive.
Is there any truth to Black Beach's comment?
What's that? About Biden?
AMC's going to blow up when the world opens back up?
Yeah.
I don't think so, but
probably,
you never know.
The thing is, AMC is another meme stock. And when we say meme stock, we mean people like Reddit have these groups that have 6, 7, 3 million people. And sometimes what they do is when someone shorts a stock, and what it means to short a stock, Avery, means that your big institutional investors are putting money that the stock is going to go down. Somebody is pushing that stock around, letting people borrow that share because they believe it's going to go down. And so AMC has been flirting with bankruptcy too, but they haven't because when was it? January, somebody invested, what was $100 million in them, Larry? Remember we did that video?
Yeah.
Something like that.
Somebody invested all this money, which prevented them from going to bankruptcy. And so we don't know when that money is going to run out. And so if AMC gets to a low enough value that is like $2, $3 a share, and you're willing to risk that money that, Reddit or somebody might blow the stock back up, I call it risk the money. You can risk that kind of money, but anything that you're looking to get a return on, I wouldn't put in AMC until I see them turn around 2 profitable quarters. And to this point, they haven't done that.
Right on.
AMC is one of those companies you can put some money in there just to risk it and see what it does. Like the last time I looked at it, I think it was at 9 something. I mean, you buy 100 shares, and if it goes back up because the people on Reddit decide they want to try and run it back up, so then it runs back up, and then you sell it again and pull your money out. But I wouldn't buy it and hold it.
Like I was telling Larry. Well, see, the way Larry feels about AMC is the way I feel about Hertz. Especially if you done made a profit. If you made double your money, hold up, Larry. If you've doubled your money already, young investors, trim a little bit. It doesn't hurt you never go broke pulling profit. That's my favorite saying. You never go broke.
See, here's the reason why I'm not pulling profits on Hertz, because I bought it at $1.30 a share. Now, if I bought Hertz at like $20 a share and I had 100, 200, 300 shares like I do right now, then yeah, I would want to pull some profits. If I bought it and it doubled from 20 to 40 or from 20 to 60, I would definitely pull profits. But I bought it for $1.30. I mean, it's like,
investors, again, Larry is talking about bigger dollars versus smaller dollars, but the percentage don't change.
No, the percentages don't, but the profit levels do.
Yeah, the profit levels do, but I mean, when you're dealing with a particular stock, there's a reason why the damn stock is cheap in the first place. It's versus a stock that's $20.
But here's the thing: if you pull your profits, if you buy it at $1.30 and you pull your profits at $5, and then the next week or two it shoots up and now it's at like $25, $30 a share, you may not have the money or may not want to spend that kind of money to get back into it. But if you wait it out,
but why would you get back into it? Why would you get back into it when you got 300 shares? You just pull 100, you still got 200 riding for you.
You could, but if I pull 100 shares now, I mean, it's at $5. I mean, what? I'm going to make it at $400 profit?
Yeah, hell yeah. Hell yeah. $400 add up. You keep reinvesting that $400, it adds up. Hell yeah.
I'm watching this. I'll tell you when I'm going to pull profits on this thing. I'm going to pull profits in the 3rd week of July.
Okay.
Because I believe it's going to keep going up. I think the summer rush is going to keep it going up, and then I think as the summer starts to wind down, we'll probably see the stock price start to wind down. So when it goes, I expect this stock to go close to $20 by the end of the summer. So when it gets up there, and around the 3rd week of July, when it's around $18, I'm pulling profits then.
We'll see. I'm not going to bank on that one, but we'll see. He's already so far in the profit zone, but just as sure as he said it's going to go up, ladies and gentlemen, he can also go the other way.
It absolutely can.
He can ride, but we'll see. So, B. Avery, what you got going on in your channel before we dip on out of here?
As soon as we end the stream, I'm not getting up from this chair. I'm going to be reviewing Spiral, the Book of Saw.
I can't wait. I can't wait.
Yeah.
I can wait.
I can't wait.
Yeah.
I don't do scary movies.
I do.
No, you good. It's man, I want to talk about it, but
one word. Use one word. Put all your thoughts into one word.
Good.
Okay. There you go. There you go. So,
and
ladies and gentlemen,
I recorded. I'm late on my reviews for last week though. I recorded my my monster review this morning, like 3 this morning. I still got to edit that, and just some other stuff from last week as well. Also, I have a screener for the Angelina Jolie movie. I got that this morning.
Okay.
That's the
day they want me dead or something like that.
Looks like a rehash of Man on Fire.
Something like it. So, that's what I got coming up. And then of course you can always find me live, hopefully with these gentlemen on Sunday, 6:30 p.m. CST.
Yep. I'm definitely gonna be popping in this week, ladies and gentlemen. There's no birthday, there's no Mother's Day. I'll be popping in for a little while to cause havoc on his channel, so y'all be ready for that. Me and Larry will be back Friday night talking jump. We'll figure out what's good, what's going on. Seems like there's so many stories going on in so many different places nowadays. We got something to keep you guys entertained. So tune in. And Larry,
I might pop in too. So
B. Avery always might just pop in. What you got going on in your channel, Larry?
Man, same old madness. I have this big old pile of products over here that I need to finish getting reviewed. Man, it's just I stopped taking stuff in. I have so much stuff. It's becoming overwhelming. So I'm just gonna keep plugging away at it to try and get as much done as I possibly can. Yeah,
it's a good problem. It's a good problem to have.
It is a good problem. It is one of those things I shouldn't complain about, but I have a lot of stuff. I did shoot a couple of videos today, just sort of like I told myself today I was gonna just do like my videos. I want to do like some tutorial stuff instead of just reviews. So I did a video today on like how to get free cryptocurrencies. So I'm gonna put that out soon. I did one on just a tutorial, a silly one for my friend. He has a MacBook Pro and an Android device for his phone, and he's always trying to figure out how to send like whatever's in his web browser at the time to his phone. So I did a video on how to sync your web browser on your Mac with your web browser on your Android phone for those people that live in a mixed relationship.
Did you give them an app to do it, or because I use Droid Buddy? I got Droid Buddy on my Mac and I've got it on my phone.
You don't even need to do that as far as your web browser. All you have to do is make sure that you're logged in to both. Like if you use Chrome or Firefox, just make sure you're logged in on both your mobile device and your and on your computer, and then just make sure it's set up to sync, and then you can just go in and sync it up. So it's pretty easy.
It seems like I've tried that before, but for large video files, it takes forever.
No, this is just for your browser stuff. For video files, it's something else. Yeah, for video files, it's something else. Yeah, I did a video a while back on AirDroid. No, not on Droid Buddy, on AirDroid.
Okay.
And that's another nice one that it's sort of like AirDrop, except for it works with Android. So
you're right. It is AirDroid. It's not Droid, but it's AirDroid.
Okay.
That's what it's called. So all right, ladies and gentlemen, we're out of here. Be sure to like the video, be sure to share the video, remind your friends, tell a cousin, share us somewhere on social media, because we do think we have the best network of content creators you're going to find. We cover so much stuff. And until that next Sexy as Hell video on Friday, we'll see you.